very excited about this one. I would probably say very excited about every single book. Hello good besties, this is Kira. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be talking about my 25 books for 2025, which is, that's crazy. I can't believe I'm already making my 25 books for 2025. In advance, sorry about my voice, I did just wake up and I am sick. Honestly, I haven't looked at my 24 books for 2024 in a while, but I don't think I did so good. Kira last year really thought she was gonna go above and beyond. I was putting like last book in like 7-8 book series. I was humbled nonetheless. I'm hoping I really do stick to this list. Basically, if you don't know how these videos work, you pick the amount of books that the year is going to be. So last year was 2024, so you pick 24 books for 2024, and it's gonna be 2025, so picking 25 books for 2025. Don't have physical copies for all of them because some of them I just don't have physical copies for, but some of them have not even come out yet, so I definitely have a lot of new releases on this list, but I just love a new release. Make sure to follow all my socials down below, the like goodreads, my Amazon wishlist, stuff like that is linked down there if you want to check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos by me. And let's just get into it. This is gonna be a long video. So no particular order, I basically just like wrote it down in my notebook and was like, yeah, I want to read these books. So I'm looking at this list. Maybe I'll pop up a number, I'll count them for you guys, do a little stat situation, but I think I have a lot more like fantasy and fantasy romance on here than I do romance, which is really interesting. We are gonna start off with a bang. I want to finish a series next year. I put this book on my 24 books of 2024 when I was like maybe halfway through the series. Kingdom of Ash is making its way back onto this TBR because I will be reading it in 2025. I will put myself through that pain. I want to start Crescent City next year. So this book is like almost 1,000 pages, and I heard it's just pain. All it is, the whole entire book is pain. I'm not ready for that. I have to say, I do like Avatar better, but I think I could have really liked this series if I read the books back to back to back. First book on the 25 books for 2025. All right, next up we have another series that I wanted to read the last book in it last year, and I think I was one book in. It was the Harry Potter series. So I'm only gonna put the 4th book on my list because right now I'm currently read the first 2 books. I think this is kind of where everybody like loves the series. It's kind of like the middle to the end. It gets really, really good. 2nd book for 2025. All right, this is where we're gonna get into some books that I do not have the physical copies for at the moment or are not out. So first one is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the 3rd book in the Empyrean, I think it's what it is, the 4th Wing series, and this comes out January 31st, I think it is. She just the other day like posted a video or something of her like being like, oh, new addition to my bookshelves, and there's Onyx Storm, and honestly it looks a lot shorter than Iron Flame, which is good. I'm a little scared. Honestly, I am so scared for this book. See how that one goes. Next book is Sky Shade by Alex Astor. I think it's called the Lightlark series. If you guys have not been keeping up with me, I love this series so much. I just read the 2nd book. I love this series. More people need to read it, and apparently we're getting 2 more books for this series in 2025. It's basically about these 6 realms that every 300 years they get sworn into this place called Lightlark, and they have to find a way to break their curses that are on them. This girl named Isla went through all that, and there's a love triangle. It's a very magical world, YA, so it's not too like difficult to understand. This is the 3rd book. So excited but so scared for this 3rd book. I'm trying to like avoid spoilers for everything. I know what team I am. Hopefully Miss Alex pulls through on that end. All right, next book is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. So this is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series. Y'all don't even know how excited I am for this book. I gave Wild Eyes, the 2nd book in the series, 5 stars. It was so good. Like Wes, love that man. And you get like a little bit of this couple in the 2nd book, and it's just like they're so mysterious. Male main character's name is Rhys, like R-H-Y-S. I think he like comes to this town. I don't know why, but he's here. Like I think it's a marriage of convenience situation where the female main character, I don't remember her name, like has to take guardianship of her sister's son, but I think they're not letting her So that's why he offers to marry her, so that it's, I don't know, it's better that she's in like in a relationship or something. So excited because I love Marriage Convenience. I love Miss Elsie Silver. I just know this is gonna eat. I don't know when this comes out. I think it's like April. Definitely gonna read this book, like probably as soon as it comes out. Last and final book for this little segment, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Isn't that like a Taylor Swift song? I'm not a Swiftie, like at all. This is her new release. I know absolutely nothing about it. I do know that I love Abby Jimenez like so much. She's one of my like auto-buy authors. She's one of my comfort authors, and I have read all of her books. She tends to write just like very emotional romances that have a lot more to it than romance. Like two characters always have some kind of backstory or something that they're going through. If y'all don't know me, I love an emotional romance. So that's why I feel like me and Abby Jimenez would get along well. And I think the cover, from what I remember, is really cute. Right, next up we have another chunky book. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, and I really don't know much about this book other than it's got dragons in it, it's got a little bit of a romance in it, and I think there's a lot to do with like the politics of the world. I feel like this book, what I've heard, is very like politics heavy. If you guys don't know me, I love books with assassins. Like, I don't know what it is, but like the female main character, when she's an assassin, always eats. I know I like this one. This cover is giving me winter vibes. Very excited about this one. Next up, I'm pretty sure is a book that was a repeat. Watched last year's, no you didn't. You didn't see this book. I have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. This book is about Garrett and Hannah Graham's child. It's about their daughter. From what I remember about this synopsis, it's basically about, so Gigi's going to Briar, and I think that they don't have a girls hockey team. I think she gets to play on the hockey team or train or something. And that's when she meets Ryder, who is a hockey player. I'm so excited. I know this is gonna be so good because I can't wait for the glimpses of Garrett Graham. And I've heard many good things about Mr. Ryder. I love Elle Kennedy's writing style. It's very easy, like get through. Excited to get this one probably sooner rather than later. Next up we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. So this actually came out, I think, like April of last year, and yes, I have not read it yet. I will have to say, I'm not like the biggest fan of Emily Henry. I've read Beach Read, People We Made on Vacation, and Book Lovers, and like I enjoyed them, but like I really have to be in the mood for her books, and I have not read Happy Place yet. I've just like put it off for some reason. I think I'm just overall a lot more intrigued in Funny Story's plot. Funny Story, I don't really remember what it's about, but I think this like woman is dating this guy, and he basically is like, yeah, this is really not working anymore. He's like been in love with his like childhood best friend for like ever, so they end up breaking up, and she's kind of looking for a place to live, and this is where this guy comes in. I don't remember their names at all. Somehow connected that like his ex-girlfriend is in love with her ex-fiance or boyfriend or whatever, and I think they like fake date. Like her writing is a lot more literary fiction. All right, next up is a book, which I have, I think, 2 more books before I need to get to this one, but I'm just flying through the books and this universe, so I know I will get to it. Putting Clockwork Angel. So this is part of the Infernal Devices series. So you have to read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, then you read like a short story, and then you jump back to this one. So this is kind of like prequel, if you will. I don't even know who this follows. We'll see. If you don't know like about Cassandra Clare, she writes this like whole huge, like gigantic, interconnected world. Basically, it's like a YA, like urban fantasy. They're just really fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's really like kind of trashy, but I'm kind of loving it, and it's really easy for me to read and understand. So, all right, next book is one that I literally just picked up, I think like last week's Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I know little to nothing about this book. All I know is that everybody was going absolutely feral over it. Apparently this man does something with like shadows. About this having like the mate trope. Like, is that the fated mate trope? Because if y'all know me, I love the fated mate trope. Like, that's all I know about this one. And I think he's more of like a darker villain, morally gray type of male main character. I'm just so excited for this, and I know I'm just gonna have a fun time, and hopefully I like it. Guys, we're about halfway through. Next book I'm putting on here is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So I really don't remember what this book is even about, but this, I believe, is like a sports romance to do with like swimming, and that's all I know. But the cover is amazing. I love Ali Hazelwood's like STEM romances, like they're amazing. But like, I'm so excited for her to write some kind of like sports romance. A competitive diver and ace swimmer jump into a forbidden waters in a steamy college romance. This is gonna be so fun. Cannot wait for this one to come out. All right, next up is a book that I'm also so excited to read. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the 4th book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. They're just like cowboy country romances. They're very quick, very easy to read. So this is about Cam and Dusty, and basically like Cam was engaged, like the guy doesn't show up to the wedding, and then Dusty has been like, you can just tell that whenever they have like a little scene together, she's doing something and then he shows up, and then you could just like can tell like they have history, and I want to know their history. Dusty just seems like such a sweet character. So apparently they become like neighbors because she doesn't have anywhere to live anymore. I don't know, it kind of seems like maybe like a second chance romance. I don't know if they had like a history of dating before. And I definitely recommend the series. All right, next book is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. So this is the 3rd book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, but like there's going to be duologies in them. I don't want to spoil anything because I think this follows a character that you meet in the 2nd book. Basically, like the series is like vampire romances, and that's pretty much all you need to know. They're so fun, they're spicy. I just had such a good time. I love Carissa Broadbent's writing style. I think it's very like easy to binge, and I do want to read her other series. All right, next up is a book that I'm going to read in the summer. It's Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and everybody was talking about this last year, and I didn't get around to it in the summer. Yes, I've heard that Annabelle Monaghan's books are a lot more like literary with like a subplot of romance. What I know about the plot of this one is that there's this girl named Allie, and she's going through just a lot of grief with her mother, and like her husband left her. Her dog like ends up peeing on this man. That's how they kind of like spark their romance. I don't know, I think it'll be fun. Can't wait to read this one in the summer. All right, next up we have Crossroads by Demony Perry. So I think this is the 1st book in like her new series, and I think they're more of like country romances, if I'm not mistaken, tropes. And it says childhood friends, small town, enemies to lovers, cowboy romance, forced proximity, and second chance. Are all of them kind of like the same? Yeah, I enjoyed them. I think they're just fun and they're quick. All right, next up we have a book that everybody again was talking about like a couple months ago. It's Heartless Hunter by Christian. I don't even want to butcher your last name. What I know about this one is I think like it's a witch and a witch hunter, and I believe it's YA, but I am not sure. It says enemies to lovers, witch and a witch hunter, and that's pretty much all I need to know. Don't know me. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love a romance that has like a female main character that's like a witch and it's dual point of view. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. I think it's just gonna be a fun time. All right, this next book I've had literally on my shelves for like ever because I heard Raven-haired reader Rachel talk about this book like months ago and she loved it, and it recently just got republished. So I'm not sure if I want to get that version because she like rewrote a lot of things. Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I don't know much about this other than I think there's dragons, there's a romance, and there's good found family. I think it was on my 24 books for 2024. But I just like didn't get around to it. But I definitely do want to read it next year. All right, this next book, I'm gonna be completely honest, I know absolutely nothing about. Not even a lick, not even an idea. It's from Blood and Ash. It's a very popular fantasy romance series. So like immediately I'm intrigued. All I know is that it's like a spicy fantasy romance series, and I'm there. I'm sat. All right. Next up is, I don't know if it's the final book in the series, but it's the 3rd book in some series, and it's The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. So this is part of a hockey romance series. I think it's the Vancouver Storm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is about, I don't remember their names, but you see them a lot in the Fake Out, the 2nd book, and basically this like girl like has a boyfriend. They end up like breaking up, but she's had this like boy best friend forever, and you can just tell that he is in love with her. I'm just ready for him to just go all out and just go for her. You know what I mean? Make his move. And I don't know if there's some kind of like romantic situation or proposition brought up, like, you know, when like after they're like, oh, do you want to rebound? Like, let's have fun. I don't know if that's the premise of this book. A sucker for a hockey romance. I know it's gonna be quick, fun, spicy, just a good time. All right, next book is what I'm very excited for. It's kind of not like a random pick, but it's kind of a random pick. The Long Way Down by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So I still have Addicted After All and Fuel the Fire to read before I get to this one. It's my last Daisy and Reich book. I love them. I just know I cannot wait to read another chunky long book about the two characters. You know what it is? I think it's like that nightmare trope. Like one of the characters has a nightmare and then the other character has to like help them through it. But this is part of the long Addicted Calloway sister series universe. Next one, okay, technically is 5 books, but it's really not. So I'm gonna put the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. Okay, what I know about this is that I think like each book is honestly like a little over 100 pages. It's a little different from what I usually read, but I've heard so many amazing things about it. I think like she's a serial killer and like he's like either a police officer or like an FBI agent trying to find her, and it's their romance. How interesting is that? But just like the darker romance aspect of it, and I think people have said it like it's a little gruesome, which is usually just not my thing. I think I'm gonna try to at least read the first one and see how it goes. All right, next up, we have a book that I know I'm so terrified for, and it's Fearless by Lauren Roberts, and the teasers that Miss Lauren has been posting on TikTok are not acceptable. I'm like rooting for her and a certain character for their romance, but like how the last book ended, I'm like, how are we gonna do this? I've never been more excited for a book to come out in my life, so. All right, last 2 books. I'm gonna try to do them really quickly. Dark Window by Rachel Gilling. I don't know why I've been putting this off. I think it's because I don't think it's so much of like a fantasy romance. Like I think it's more fantasy with like a subplot of romance. Like it's a gothic fantasy, and I think the like magic system has to revolve around some kind of like cards, and I think there's a romance in here, but there's also like some kind of like voice in her head. I don't know, I'm very confused about the whole entire thing. I think the gothic fantasy is kind of intriguing me, so let's see how this one goes. And the 25th book on my 25 books for 2025 is a new edition, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. What I know about this like series or this book in general is not much. Fantasy romance, but like it's a slow burn, and you guys know I love a slow burn. So there's like the Descended, they're like, people with magic, or this woman's mother goes missing, or she gets involved, I guess, if you will, with the Descended. And I think that I'm really gonna like this series. Yes, that is the 25 books that I'm hoping to read in 2025. Hopefully I can actually stick to this list. I'm very excited for obviously every single one of these books. I am not one to stick to TBRs though, so hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to follow all my socials down below, link my Goodreads, my Amazon wishlist, stuff like that is linked down there if you want to check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos by me. And I will see you guys next week for what I believe is going to be my January TBR. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!